What's up, Grid Nation? It's Cassie Martinez, and I think it's time that we talk about what your favorite team has been up to during the offseason. This is probably the most players switching teams and new signs in Grid League history, so let's get into it. And I think you know who we need to talk about first. Southwest Florida is out for blood, and the Sharks have been sharking. David Blatt from the Orlando Aces, Sydney Witter of the Tampa Bay Brigade, Jesse Coleman of the Palm Beach Breakers, and Kristen Crenshaw from the Daytona Beach Venom. The Sharks are adding immense talent to their already stacked roster. Sydney Witter has mentioned that she's excited for this change and opportunity to showcase more of her talent on the grid more than she was able to do so on the Brigade. Meanwhile, the Daytona Beach Venom were totally sideswiped with the loss of Kristen Crenshaw, being as they found out about it through a social media post. According to Paul Bear, a coach and owner of the Venom, he had absolutely no idea that Crenshaw had no intention of returning to the team. They've also signed new players in Luis Guillermo and Roderick Holloway, the latter of which has played for the Brigade before. After taking a bite out of almost every single team in the league, I'm pretty excited to see how this shakes up. Meanwhile, Coach Dan Jackson has been bringing people to the Wild side. The Atlanta Wild, formerly known as the Gainesville Wild, have reclaimed Casey Blow after she took a season off to play for the Venom, as well as Blake Kidder, who took a season off to play for the Sharks but didn't actually end up on the grid at all. Vilma Rosario from the Palm Beach Breakers has signed to the Wild and is ready to see what the North has to offer. And how's this for a powerhouse duo? Sydney Wilson and Matt Cable from the Tampa Bay Brigade are both going to be wearing red uniforms as they are now part of the Wild. The team is also welcoming Nick Arnett, Tristan Meredith, and Tom Sroka, who is experienced with the sport of grid. The Wild looked really strong last season, and with a few additional veterans, this is a team to keep your eye on. The Tampa Bay Brigade are bringing on fresh meat, seeing as quite a few of their players have gone AWOL. We're going to be introduced to Rebecca Roos, Seth Prochaska, Garrison Matthews, Jake Haggerty, Daniel Haberman, and Rafael Aritza. Isabella Carvalho and Ariana Durham, who played for Kids Grid for the last few seasons, were signed as a single match sign last season and are ready to officially take on the big leagues. And finally, we have Kyle Massey, who used to play for the Orlando Aces but has taken some time off and is ready to rejoin the grid with the Tampa Bay Brigade. This is an almost entirely rebuilt team, and it might just be what they needed. And finally, the moment the North has been thinking about since they took home the championship title last season, the Orlando Aces. It looks like the Aces have kept their main core players with just a few additions. They're bringing newbies Jasmine Simpson, Julio Delgado, Taylor Sturgis, and Kaylin Ambrosio. Did that last name sound familiar? That's because it's Quentin Ambrosio's brother. Kaylin says watching his brother play grid all these years has ignited an itch to compete that the Aces were more than willing to help him out with. Seeing these siblings go head to head is going to be a matchup to look forward to. Looks like the Northern Conference is stacking their chips to compete with a flush of aces. Meanwhile, in the Southern Conference, things are looking different this season. The Palm Beach Breakers are going through some leadership changes. Former head coach Alex will no longer be a part of the fold, with owner of the Breakers, Matt Hornaday, citing that they are moving in a different direction. The Breakers have acquired a veteran who used to play for the Wild team and is back from his offseason in Josh Rundle. Josh Rundle is a seriously talented bodyweight specialist and has been sought after by many teams during his time away. The Breakers, while they're definitely going to be missing a few of their key players in Coleman and Rosario, are packing heat with some of these newcomers. Just listen to this: Sophia Davenport, Christine Matthews, Ariel Swan, Gabby Mostar, Shay Newell, Jordan Hayes, Reese Lyons, Lucas Montero, Joshua Newell, and Devon Brewster. Looks like Hornaday went on a hunt this offseason, but with the help of new head coach and former player Angel Rodriguez, they're looking to whip up the new Breakers into a playoff team. Meanwhile, the South Beach Palms, who are regular playoff contenders, are keeping their strong core of players, with the exception of Brett Presley, who will be out for the season due to an injury. While he will definitely be missed for the Palms, they're introducing Diana Vicentelli, Dainier Lanzak, and Abdul Cabral to the fold. Brielle Macchiarelli has left the Fort Lauderdale Lions to go a little bit further south this season, and coach and owner Briley Hansen is stoked for the season to come. The Fort Lauderdale Lions, 2023 Southern Conference champions, have re-signed the majority of their core team with a few rookie sprinkles on top of their elite team in Reagan Hathaway, Alexis Dempsey, and Briley Smith. As we remember from last last season, the Fort Lauderdale Lions were just a few skills away from taking home their 4th championship title. Looks like the Fort Lauderdale Lions are hoping this is what they need to bring home the gold for Coach Gold. And last but not least, the Daytona Beach Venom. The Venom had a rough last season between missing players and scheduling conflicts, but according to co-owner Paul Bear, they're happy with their veteran crew and are looking forward to see how they welcome the rookies in. They're welcoming Rachel Frazier, Tori Height, Hannah Thompson, Savannah Redding, Alicia Hicks, Aaron DeJoy, and Dylan Fullwood, as well as internet personality and athlete Eddie Ramirez. Probably the most anticipated player on the Venom this season will be Andrew Maddox, coach and owner, joining the team as a strength specialist. Maddox is former All-American track and field, college football, and Olympic weightlifting, taking home multiple national medals. This has been an eventful offseason to say the very least, and I can't wait to learn more about it so I can tell you more about it. In the meantime, make sure you like and subscribe to get all the United Grid League content to come. Comment down below which team you think is going to bring home that championship title this year.